I'm Yaneli, also known as Miss Be Helpful, with another FinCap Friday brought to you by NGPF. In the past, Americans generally agreed that when you sit down to dine at a restaurant, the right thing to do is add 15 to 20% gratuity for your table service, aka add a tip. But in 2020, at the start of the pandemic, indoor restaurant dining was heavily restricted, so takeout and delivery became the primary options. And diners were encouraged to tip generously in order to support service workers. But even as the pandemic restrictions have eased up, the touchscreen tipping prompts have stuck around, contributing to what's now being called Tipflation. Tipflation refers to the upward trend in many establishments using digital payment checkout systems that prompt customers to select their tip amount during checkout, 10, 15, or 20%, but sometimes even as high as 30%. This can create uncomfortable situations and interactions because it makes customers feel pressured to tip frequently and generously. There's no doubt that the pandemic has played a role in speeding up American business, relying on digital payment systems like handheld payment processors, QR codes, little square contactless chip readers, and most popularly, an iPad at checkout. But it's not just restaurants anymore. Tipping culture has expanded to include coffee shops, food trucks, farmers markets, airports, convenience stores, supermarkets, local shops, and more. This has led to an endless debate online about the rise of tipping, which experts say is because tipflation has led to tip fatigue. One Bankrate survey found that 66% of Americans view tipping negatively, with 1/3 of them believing that tipping culture has spiraled out of control. There are viral TikToks and tweets showing that there's mixed feelings regarding tipping in the United States. Some people believe that it empowers them to reward or withhold a portion of a server's salary based on the service quality, while other people think it's problematic and they prefer for businesses to pay their employees a living wage so they don't have to rely so much on tips. Here are some tips about tipping from the experts. If you sit down to dine at a restaurant and there's a wait staff, the suggestion is that you give 15 to 20% tip. But if a restaurant has no wait staff, experts suggest that it's okay to leave little to no tip up to a maximum of 10%. For takeout, the recommendation is that you tip up to 10%. And for delivery, recommendations range from a fixed dollar amount based on the distance to somewhere between 10 and 15%. But that's on top of other fees related to food prep, service, mileage, and delivery charges. There's no doubt that tipping practices have evolved significantly, which has led to a lot of challenges surrounding tipping culture. But most experts agree that if you walk into a coffee shop and grab a bottle of water, there's really no need to tip unless you want to add a dollar or two because you're feeling generous. But what's your opinion about all this tipping stuff?